There's an elite group at the Crawford Academy called the Top 10, and unfortunately someone is counting them down one by one. Virginia is our main connection to this group of kids, but she has problems of her own, aside from the whole everyone's getting killed thing. She has a troubled backstory, which includes the death of her mother in a car accident, which also resulted in Virginia having a massive brain injury and experimental brain surgery, which she keeps flashing back to. So is she imagining all this? Is she the killer without even knowing it? Well, all those questions and more will be answered when you watch 1981's Happy Birthday to Me, which you should totally do. I found it quite amusing as I did my research for this film how critics were completely and totally offended by it upon release. It was called vile and disgusting and trash, and basically it was the most offensive thing to ever happen in 1981. And I found all that amusing because as I watched Happy Birthday to Me for the first time ever, I kept noting how classy it seemed, far and above most of the other films in the slasher genre at the time. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a slasher film with all the tropes you'd expect, but it's also very much just a murder mystery, and a rather compelling one at that. It comes complete with that bullshit murder mystery thing I love, where a killer enters a room and a character will say something like, "Oh, it's you! Hello, you! How are you, you?" just to keep the audience in the dark.
Oh, it's you!
It's so stupid, but I love it because it's a device that exists nowhere else in reality. Now, I'm not bragging when I say that about halfway through the film, there's a snippet of dialogue that made me say, "Ah, okay, it's you, you're the killer," and I ended up being right. However, how they get there is insane. The ending of this movie is just batshit insane, like jaw-dropping, I can't believe they're doing this insane. At one point I thought it showed its hand too early in the story, but nope. The ending doesn't necessarily make a lot of sense, but it's still fun watching it unravel. I'm thrilled that I was able to avoid this film over time and watch it now completely unspoiled. Check out Happy Birthday to Me. Home video releases have been mangled over the years, but the current Blu-ray release from Mill Creek is the proper theatrical version with the correct soundtrack. And speaking of the soundtrack, the music here is excellent, with the added bonus of a vocal version of the main theme over the closing credits. I wasn't expecting that. And it's super cheap as well, so really you have no excuse. This is one of the good ones.
Jesus. Help.